Hello, and welcome back to another Things on My Mind video. I'll be honest, this is like my third time trying to record this. I feel like my words are not coming out like correctly today. I can't really form cohesive sentences, and my trains of thoughts are like not leading anywhere. So, my apologies if this one is a little bit of a chaotic like rambly one. I think it's because I got off to like a pretty slow start this morning. I woke up feeling just like low energy and just a little bit groggy. So that caused me to just lay in bed for a long time and scroll on my phone. And I know whenever I do that, whenever I'm like scrolling for like an hour before I get out of bed, I know that I'm setting myself up for like a kind of rough day, at least energy wise. I feel a little bit slower. I feel like all I want to do is lay on the couch and watch TikTok. And I think that's because since I did that first thing in the morning, that's like what my brain is like looking for the rest of the day. So right now it's already 5 p.m. I can't believe that I'm actually sitting here and I sat down to record this because usually I would say like, oh, it's already the evening. I might as well just start making dinner and forget the video. I'll just do it tomorrow. Like I was feeling low energy, so I'll give myself the day to rest. But honestly, I have been giving myself a little bit too much grace in terms of not showing up for myself. So I am really forcing myself to do things even when I don't want to, do things even when it feels uncomfortable, or I feel like all I want to do is lay down, or if I have no energy. I really need to force myself to have that resilience to stick to the things that I say I'm going to do, because if I don't do it now, it's just going to continue as a pattern, and that pattern is just going to keep getting stronger and stronger, and it's going to be way harder for me to break. So I'm committing to it. We are on day 3 now, so it feels like we have a long way to go, but I know that, what do they say? The days feel long, but the years feel so short. So just taking it day by day and showing up for myself, even when it's hard. But I did get my nails done yesterday. They're super cute. I wanted to go for like planetary vibes kind of because of all of the planets shifting and crazy transits that are happening. Just as like a reminder to use this energy right now to my best ability, because these are kind of some once in a lifetime transits that we are seeing. I think the bar bolts basket coming up, I think on the 19th or something, is something that nobody's ever seen. So it'll be really interesting how the energy will affect not only like the collective, but you know, me just individually. So, my brain is not working today. I didn't really come up with any original thoughts. This would be a good time to look at my notes app. Yesterday, though, I watched a documentary on Netflix. It just came out. It's called Shipwrecked. I forgot. It's called Shipwrecked. It's about the cruise wrecking basically in 2011, and it's basically like if the Titanic happened in modern day. But I thought it was really interesting because honestly, this whole disaster happened because the captain, so basically the ship ran into this rock in the side of the ship. They didn't expect it to happen. The captain didn't know how it happened. But instead of like alerting everybody immediately and saying, hey, we hit something, we need help, the captain decided to try to, I don't know, manage it himself or just see how bad it was to kind of save his ego, basically save his reputation, maybe, like that he, because it was kind of his fault, I think. Everybody was kind of like, why did the captain hit this rock? And he was kind of trying to figure things out. And so he was telling everybody that it was like a blackout. They lost power and they were fine. They were just trying to fix it. But everybody on the cruise could feel the ship like tilting to one side. And then the emergency people on the radio that he was talking to were asking if they needed help or support. And he would just say, no, we're just going to anchor here and we'll figure it out. And because he waited so long to admit that he messed up and something bad really happened and they did need help, I think it took over an hour for them to say like, yeah, we need to abandon ship. Because of that, I feel like there were, I think, 30 people that died on that accident, and so many people were injured and like had trauma basically for the rest of their lives because of how unorganized and chaotic it was. Honestly, because of the captain, because he didn't say right away like, hey, this was my fault, or like, hey, something bad has happened, we need help, I can't just fix it my own, like by myself. And I think that's kind of a thing that, obviously not to the consequences that happen on that ship, but I think that's something that a lot of people do. And is basically, if you find out that you messed up, you try to like hide it until somebody discovers, like the issue that happened, or hide it until it gets too bad that it's unmanageable and you actually need help or need to admit that you messed up or something bad happened. Honestly, the best way is always just to try to accept responsibility, I guess, and move forward. And the longer that you don't accept that responsibility, the worse that it can get. Yeah, but I do really recommend watching that documentary. It was like maybe 2 hours, less than 2 hours, I think. I can't believe I've never heard of that accident before. It happened in 2011, and there was like people filming video of all the things happening, how nobody was giving them any directions or anything. So I really do recommend watching it. And if you have seen it, let me know what you think about, the captain and how everything went down, because it's crazy to think that there are people who are responsible for that many lives and they still have such an ego like that, where they would rather save their ego than, do the right thing. It is crazy though. I feel like once you start looking at, honestly, like most different areas, you'll kind of find that, wow, there are a lot of people that don't really know what the heck is going on and they're in charge. And so that was kind of just one of those situations where it was like, damn. I wrote in my notes app, the more I think, the more thoughts I have. And that is really true. I guess it kind of makes sense in my head. The more that I think about my thoughts, and let me try to say it so it doesn't sound dumb. The more that I think about what's going on in my head, or in my life, or just random thoughts, like random ideas or things that I'm curious about, it seems like I am able to make more thoughts. Like more thoughts will come the moment I start thinking. I don't know if that makes sense, but the more that I practice using my brain, the more that my brain is actually working. I noticed this yesterday because I really felt like after I recorded my video, I had so many different things that I was like, I kind of want to think about that, or I want to talk about that, or I've never really, thought about this other thing before. And so it felt like once I got my brain up and running, it was like, it would, I really can't talk today. But the more that I got my brain moving, like the faster it wanted to move. And I think that's why I'm really trying to get off of my social media addiction, because today, now that I have not really had that many thoughts, like original thoughts of my own, it's hard to come up with things to talk about or things that I even am like curious about. So yeah, basically, the more you think, the more thoughts you will have. That sounds so dumb, but it makes sense in my head. Oh, I also wanted to talk about, and sorry, this is TMI, so feel free to skip ahead if you get easily grossed out, maybe. I don't know. But this whole diarrhea parasite that people have been, talking about getting on the produce and basically causing mass diarrhea in the United States. I was a victim. I believe that I had that last week. The whole week I was like out of commission. Basically, I had to stay next to the toilet from Sunday to Saturday. So I really felt cleaned out. And that just like kind of got me thinking that it feels like I was also cleaning out like my insides, and like, yes, obviously my gut and everything was cleaned out, but I think I'm like really cleaning out like the old version of me and my old bad habits. and just getting out all of the negativity and things that no longer suit me or no longer are beneficial to me. It feels like I'm really cleaning that out. So it was kind of weird that that just coincidentally lined up with like me experiencing that in the physical, and then me also like wanting to clean out all of this. It's like my gut was being cleaned out and my brain was being cleaned out at the same time. So I just thought that was interesting. So another thing, and I feel like I don't really mean for these conversations to just be about things that I need to like work on or fix, but that's just been on my mind a lot lately. And one thing that I'm really working on is being okay with things not being permanent. So it feels like if I create like a morning routine or something, I almost like envision it like I will have this morning routine for the rest of my life and I need to stick to it. And if I don't do everything, then it's over. I'm just not going to have it. Or like I find something that I really like. So I've been liking these Chobani, the like Chobani yogurts, but they're like the drinkable ones. I was really liking those, so I felt like I like added it to my grocery budget. Like I'm going to get them every single week all the time, and like it's like if I like something, I need to have it forever. Or if I do something, I need to do it the same way forever. And something that I'm trying to get out of is that mentality that not everything needs to be permanent. Not everything needs to stay the same. It's actually good for things to change and good for me to adapt when I find different ways that work better or different things that are better for me. So that's kind of why I struggle, I guess, with, I think consistency is because I feel like I need to have it be perfectly how I did it. Like, I feel like like, for example, with these videos, since I recorded it in the morning the first day, I felt like I need to record it in the morning every single day and post it in the morning, or else like don't do it. And that's not practical. It obviously didn't work. It stayed 3 and I was not able to record in the morning yesterday or today. But since I'm able to kind of adapt a little bit more now, I am able to like be more flexible. My thoughts are really just not really making sense today, so I am so sorry. But hopefully that made a little bit of sense. And that's kind of just something that I talked about how I've always been really bad with change, and that's just another example of how it do be hard to change and not have everything always be perfect or always be exactly the way that I want it. That is like, I think the whole theme of maybe even my 20s is the whole theme is like, it's okay for things to change. Like you need to change, actually. It's not just okay for things to change. It's actually necessary in order to grow. And I think that's why I really haven't grown. At least, I don't want to say that because I do think that I've grown. I think it's just hard maybe to look back and see the growth because I haven't. It's been a lot internally and not so much externally yet. So, and we're still working on the internal. I don't think it's not like I'm ever going to be at a point where I'm like, okay, I'm fully healed. I'm fully good. Now what's next? Because really, if you fully heal, what more is there to do? Like, what are you going to do for the rest of your life if you can't grow anymore? So the like mantra that I have been saying to myself is it doesn't have to be permanent. It just has to be now. So it doesn't have to be forever. It just has to be now. I don't have to feel like I don't have to set up things so that they will last forever. I just need to see what's working for me now. And if it stops working for me, then I can change it. One last thing I want to talk about, because I have just been thinking about it and I can't hold it back anymore, is that I've talked about before that I've been trying to develop a relationship with the crows in my neighborhood, but I haven't seen them for like at least 5 or 6 weeks, maybe less, like 4 to 5 weeks. I haven't really heard them around, my house at all. They used to like come by every day around like between 5 to 7 p.m. I haven't heard them in a long time, so I hope that they're okay. I keep putting out my peanuts, and like every day I'll put out an egg and I'll take it out after a few hours because they don't stay. Obviously, the heat is crazy, but nobody has come to collect my little treats that I put out for them. They don't respond to my calls. I have a little crow caller, so yeah, that's basically my crow update. Hopefully, I can, while these 30 days are going, I can say that the crows come back, because I just want to be friends with them. I want them to visit me and bring me little shiny things. I think it would be really cool to just have a relationship with a wild animal, because I do have my room's messy. I don't want to show, but I do have my little puppy there. He's my BFF. But I think it would be really cool to just like earn trust with a wild animal. And, I just want them to notice me, and they won't notice me. So I'm going to cut this one short today because my brain really is not working. I am trying to think about things and there's just like crickets going on. I am wanting to make a series though. I've kind of got the general idea down. I just need to figure out how to film it. Basically of me trying to figure out who I am and like how to be authentic. So stay tuned for that. I will also be posting a vlog hopefully this weekend. I've gotten a lot of footage, so it'll be my first vlog. I'm still practicing, so stay tuned for that as well. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that I was all over the place today. Again, if you have anything that you want to hear my thoughts on, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, thank you for spending time with me today. I will see you in the next one. Bye.